All right, so finally I'm live. Sorry for the lighting. I'm in the car. Um, I just think I should talk some things out unedited since I'm always editing myself lately, or someone is editing me. Basically, this live rant, let's call it, is coming from a place that most of us can relate to, which is growing pains in love, growing pains in your career, and growing pains being tired. And then when you find yourself being tired and complaining to people, all of a sudden it's time for them to not want to hear it or be tired. So what I mean by that is, I'm an artist in right outside of New York City. I do a lot of my work in New York City. I own a mural company. I'm 28. I've been an artist and freelance art director and graphic designer for the last couple of years, but pretty much art and graphic design is what I've done my whole life. And somehow along the way, I've created a very confusing, uh, let's call it impression or perspective. People have a confused perspective, which it could be on me because I don't agree with them, but it also comes down to this. What I do, I made up because of what I know is possible. And that's really anything as long as you have the skills and the beliefs to do so. So, contextually, what I mean is, I've been doing what I know in terms of fine art, in terms of how to make a living as a graphic designer, in terms of a small business owner. And along the way, I've made, my professional relationships, but I've kept my core relationships close, never at bay. Even though communication is fewer and far in between, I think it grew more direct. But somehow, the bias of that communication is now based on, it should be based on where we're at now, but I'm still that crazy artist that people knew years ago when I was never even a crazy artist. It's just this perspective I've had on myself and other people do. And at the end of the day, I think it is been detrimental to my reputation, the word artist or painter, and how organized one can be. Even with that title, you still experience friction, on what it means to be that. So you don't need to explain yourself to anybody ever, but at some point, people start asking, hey, what do you do? And whether you know it or not, people listen. And if you're not consistent on telling them what you do, they get concerned. Or they just grow curious and start building a profile around the data you've gave them, which at some point they spit out something that doesn't correspond with what you think you are as an artist. Aside from that, I don't even want to be known as an artist. I want to be known as me as a person, who I am. The truth is I am talking very broadly, and people right now are under the impression that they have no time to talk. But all their advice is about taking the time to do what's right for yourself and for others. It's definitely important to do it for yourself, but a lot of that advice I've heard has been around time and taking it. But people are so quick to disregard let's use myself as an example, disregard me in the midst of me explaining the architecture of my problems, just so I could extrapolate some advice to work off of, some data to build something off of. Because being a painter and the nature of that in general is a solo endeavor a lot of times. So it's very hard to get feedback on these crucial matters, or doing it organically when they arise, because you're always stuck in the studio. And what's frustrating for me is that I do have business sensibilities. I'm not business oriented, but what I do fucking hate is business men and women completely undermining somebody who doesn't have a business degree, when it's just fucking asinine in 2018. Because the truth is it's just terminology. You don't need to know how a triangle works algebraically or parenthetically. You just need to know it has three fucking sides, and then from there you are known as somebody who knows more about the triangle. But it doesn't mean you don't know anything about the triangle if you can't say it's an obtuse triangle or a fucking adjacent triangle or whatever the word is, acute, you know. It's just about the essence of it when you're trying to relay something. And then in business, it's so protected, especially in these times when every fucking businessman and woman who has been undermining the digital space now has made friends with the people they need to keep their business afloat. And when someone like me, who has investigated, not to mention spent countless years actually doing the work, integrating my traditional sensibilities and skill sets and tangible assets into the digital world, at the moment of the curves, at the moment, even being proactive to future curves. And then now that things are more broadly accepted and understood, I am once again the kind of person in society who's the faux pas for talking about it, when we're a very big reason why this is all introduced to the economy. And what's frustrating for a mind like myself is, contextually, I only want to work on creative, but it doesn't mean I just want to draw pictures or do stuff on Photoshop. It means I want to understand the whole creative landscape, its possibilities, its probabilities, and how I myself as an individual can make the best of my life and the best of the things I'm interested in, and of course the best of my skill sets and talents, which so happen to be in creativity, which also so have to be focused on traditional digital space. But I'm just complaining, because let's be real here. After I complain, I always take a moment to and look at this as if I am outside of myself. And what advice would I give myself? I would say, I hear you, man, but everyone has problems. Everyone always complains about the timing of things. So what are you doing to get somewhere different in your life so you don't complain as much, or you don't have others being concerned about what you're doing or not doing, or even you don't care about what others think, or in an ideal sense everyone's happy with whatever is going on? What are you doing about that? That's what I would say to myself during this live rant. And I don't know, I think I would respond in a way that's completely real.